In this module, I am going to discuss specific aspects of strategy and innovation that can help ensure sustainable competitive advantage in today's global economy. What I'm going to talk about applies to both large and small enterprises from both developed and developing countries. The reality is that today pretty much every enterprise has to compete in this global economy. The United Nations estimates that there are approximately 70,000 firms with assets and investments in other countries that have more than 690,000 affiliates that report total annual sales amounting to over US $19 trillion and that employ more than 75 million people worldwide. These numbers continue to increase every year. For example, the value of cross-border acquisitions of businesses by other businesses has now reached over US $3 trillion per year. And this does not include the enterprises that only purchase from or export to other countries or subcontract and outsource to partners in other countries. The point is that global business now involves enterprises from an increasing number of countries, and pretty much every business faces at least some aspects of global competition. In 1957, the U.S. economy accounted for 53% of global GDP. But in 2007, it accounted for less than 28% of a much larger global economy. The lists of the world's largest public companies, such as those published each year by publications such as Business Week, Fortune magazine, and London's Financial Times, now include firms from over 50 countries, including many small and/or developing countries. And these are only the largest firms whose shares of stock are traded on the stock exchanges around the world. It doesn't include family-owned or government-owned businesses from pretty much every country that also conduct business in the international arena. There is no longer any way for any countries or companies to hide from the impact of global competition. So let's examine the strategies that seek competitive advantage through superior efficiency, quality, innovation, and customer responsiveness. Over the last 20 years or so, many strategies have been developed to increase firms' productivity and efficiency, or output per employee. These have included such programs as lean manufacturing, just-in-time inventory systems, process re-engineering, integrated supply chain information and logistics systems, and outsourcing. Many of these have been described in other ITC programs. Earlier management programs that also focused on increased productivity and efficiency, and that shouldn't be forgotten, include productivity and profit-based bonus systems, total quality management systems, suggestion systems, the best of which linked suggestions to employee rewards, self-managed teams, and employee empowerment systems. All of these programs were developed to create competitive advantage. A firm needs sustained competitive advantage to succeed in today's global economy. In order to gain such competitive advantage, firms must develop distinctive competencies that allow them to either compete on the basis of low price or differentiated products and services. It is the four building blocks of these competencies that I want to focus on in the rest of this module. These four factors can be pursued in any industry and with any product or service. And although I'm going to discuss each of them separately, They are highly interrelated, affecting each other in important ways, as will be described. So let's first look at the importance of superior efficiency. All enterprises today are faced with constant pressures to produce their products and services at the lowest possible prices. Even if a firm chooses to compete in the global marketplace on the basis of differentiated products through things like superior quality, innovation, and/or customer service, for which they can charge a premium price, if they don't also focus on their cost of production, and thus the price they can charge, it is inevitable that another firm from another country, a lower cost country, will produce a competing product or service at a lower price. Essentially, the more efficient a firm is, the fewer the inputs it requires, including labor, to produce its outputs, its products and/or services. So, for example, if firm A requires 30 employee hours to produce its product, while firm B requires only 25 hours, if other things such as wage rates are equal, firm B will have a lower cost structure than firm A. In this case, firm B will gain competitive advantage over firm A because it can charge a lower price for its products. In a related example, in 2003, Walmart generated $4.02 in sales for every dollar of capital it invested in its business, whereas its competitor, Target, generated only $2.26 in sales for every dollar it invested in its business. Clearly, Walmart is more efficient in its use of capital. It needs less capital to generate a dollar of sales than does Target. In these two examples, the most important components of efficiency considered are employee productivity and capital productivity. In addition, one could also consider R&D productivity, sales force productivity, logistics and maintenance productivity, and so on. The point is that high productivity leads to greater efficiency and lower costs, and thus the ability to charge a lower price, which is a critical source of competitive advantage. Of course, the central importance of human and intellectual capital in today's knowledge-based organizations might point to employee productivity being the most important determinant of an enterprise's efficiency and cost structure, as well as the other building blocks of competitive advantage: quality, innovation, and customer service, all of which result in greater than average profitability. Productive manufacturing employees can lower the cost of goods sold as a percentage of revenues. A productive sales force can increase sales revenue for a given level of expenses and investment. And productive employees in the company's R&D function can boost the percentage of revenues generated from new products for a given level of R&D expenses. Thus, highly productive employees lower the cost of generating revenues, increase the return on sales, and by extension, boost the firm's return on invested capital. So hiring, training and developing, and rewarding and retaining top employee talent become among the most important strategies a firm can focus on for global competitive advantage. These strategies, among others, will be examined in some depth in another module. The second source of competitive advantage comes from product features that customers perceive to be better than those of rival products. That is, from the perceived quality of a firm's products and services. Such product features could include its form, its packaging, physical features, its performance, durability, reliability, style, or design. A product is said to have superior quality when customers perceive that its attributes provide them with higher utility or value than those provided by competing products. For example, a Rolex watch is perceived to have superior design, styling, performance, and reliability compared to other watches. Thus, we can refer to Rolex as a high-quality product, indeed one for which we are willing to pay a higher price. Rolex has differentiated its watches by these attributes and thus gained competitive advantage. The concept of quality applies whether we are talking about physical products, such as automobiles, for example, comparing a Lexus to a Malaysian Proton, soft products like clothing, for example, comparing clothing designed and sold by Nordstrom's to that sold at Walmart, customer service departments of banks, or the ability of airlines to arrive at their destinations on time. Quality is just as relevant to services as it is to goods. The impact of high product quality on competitive advantage is twofold. First, providing high-quality products or services increases the value of those products and services as perceived by the customer, enabling the firm to charge a higher price and improve its profitability. And secondly, the impact of high quality on competitive advantage comes from the greater efficiency and the lower unit costs associated with reliable products. When products are reliable in both their manufacture and in their use, less employee time is wasted making defective products and correcting the mistakes or in servicing defects, which translates into higher employee productivity and lower unit costs. Thus, high product quality not only enables a company to differentiate its product from that of rivals, but if the product and its production are reliable, that also lowers costs. Over the last 10 to 20 years, the importance of product quality and reliability in building global competitive advantage has increased dramatically. Indeed, quality and reliability have become so crucial to many global firms that achieving high product quality and reliability can no longer be viewed as just one way of gaining competitive advantage. In many industries, it has become an absolute imperative for survival. So, what can you do to improve quality and reliability? It turns out there are many methods that can help. Let me mention a few of them. First, the leadership of the firm has to build organizational commitment to quality. This is accomplished through mission statements and the constant communications from executives. And the reward and recognition systems must reinforce this. Secondly, the firm needs to create quality leaders by training and identifying those employees and managers who are passionate about the importance of quality and giving them visibility. Third, the firm must place a central focus on the customer through forums for listening to them, to tasking everyone, including top executives, with periodic interaction with customers. Fourth, the firm needs to identify the processes and sources of defects in the production of products and the delivery of services. And of course, this has to be followed up by the commitment of money and management attention to eliminating those problem areas. Fifth, management must find ways to measure quality. As Peter Drucker commented many years ago, only that which is measured can and will be managed. Sixth, the firm needs to set goals and create incentives for producing outstanding quality and identifying ways to eliminate defects and problem areas. One key aspect for accomplishing this is to solicit input from employees and empower them to take action to make quality a central focus of their work time. Seventh, the firm needs to build long-term relationships with suppliers. Working with suppliers to deliver inputs that are without defects and to develop processes that eliminate problems and mistakes can go a long way to helping the firm deliver its products and services without defect or mistakes. 8, designing products for ease of manufacturing has been shown to be one of the most powerful tools for guaranteeing quality and reliability in the outputs of the manufacturing process. Of course, this also applies to the providing of service. And lastly, breaking down barriers between functions through liaisons, cross-functional teams, intranets, and other IT-based communication tools can go a long way toward minimizing problems due to the lack of interaction and communication between different functions and departments. As a last comment about quality, it is important to view the providing of quality as a total and integrated package. We often focus on the physical attributes of products, including the form, features, performance, durability, and styling of a product. But in addition, we should also focus on attributes of the service associated with the product, such as ordering ease, prompt delivery, ease of installation and use, availability of customer training and consulting, customer support and maintenance services, and ease of replacement. Quality is not only a function of the products or services themselves. It is also a function of the people in the company with whom customers interact when making a product purchase, such as their competence, courtesy, credibility, responsiveness, and communication skills when dealing with customers. So managers need to assess what is most important to customers and make sure that their products reflect those desirable attributes and that their employees, particularly those that interact directly with the customer, the sales force or service personnel, are trained and passionate about serving and satisfying the customer in ways that are most important to those customers. The third building block of competitive advantage involves innovation. Innovation refers to the act of creating new products or processes. There are two main forms of innovation: product innovation and process innovation, and both are critically important. Product innovation is the creation and development of products that are new to the marketplace or that have superior attributes to existing products, such as a new generation of computer chips, thumb drives to replace floppy disks, or new generations of cell phones to handle internet and web applications. Process innovation is the development of new processes for producing products and delivering them to customers, such as Toyota's just-in-time inventory systems, Dell's online sales for personal computers, Google's simple search engine for the World Wide Web, and Staples' application of the retail supermarket business model to the sale of office supplies. Product innovation creates value in the eyes of the customer by developing new products or enhanced versions of existing products that customers perceive as having more utility and more value, thus allowing the company to charge higher prices. On the other hand, process innovation allows a company to create more value by lowering production costs and thus the price of products and services. In today's fierce global competition on both quality and price, innovation of products and services may be the most important building block of competitive advantage. In many ways, competition can be viewed as a process driven by innovation. Although not all innovations succeed, Those that do can be a major source of competitive advantage because they give a company something unique, something its competitors lack, at least until they imitate or improve on the innovation. The firms that create more new products and introduce more new products to the marketplace will inevitably produce more successes than will the firms that try to stay with existing successful products or that only introduce what they expect to be major new innovations. Uniqueness allows a company to differentiate its products and services from its rivals, and thus to charge a premium price for its products or, in the case of many process innovations, reduce its unit costs far below those of competitors. So a firm needs to do everything it can to innovate and differentiate, including listening to customers. Interestingly, most new ideas come from customers, not from the R&D department, and empowering employees and teams to experiment and try new things. Indeed, since many manufacturing firms today outsource their production or assembly to plants located in countries with lower labor costs and to firms that subcontract to most of the major manufacturers in an industry, that is, for example, many sports shoe subcontractors manufacture shoes for Nike and Reebok and Adidas and Asics, and electronics subcontractors manufacture for Sony and Panasonic and Siemens and Samsung. It is impossible for firms to protect their innovations from imitation. I have been told by many of these firms that the only competitive advantage they have is to innovate faster than their competitors can copy what they create. This is not only the result of the process of all of these firms outsourcing to the same contractors, but it is also the result of the level playing field that Thomas Friedman writes about. That is the result of the spread of education and information around the world, such that no country has an advantage in terms of its ability to produce high-quality products. The advantages come from a firm's creativity and innovativeness, its ability to continually produce new products and innovations and to bring them to market quickly. What can you do to build capability in innovation and creativity? The steps that the most innovative and creative firms recommend include developing skills in basic and applied research, ensuring good project selection and management for examining new ideas, integrating employees across functions, and rewarding results. The last building block that I want to discuss is the focus on superior customer service. In order to achieve superior responsiveness to customers, a firm must give customers what they want, when they want it, and at a price they are willing to pay, so long as the firm's long-term profitability is not compromised in the process. The first step in delivering superior service to customers requires placing a central focus on the customer. A company cannot be responsive to its customers' needs unless it knows what those needs are. Thus, the first step in building superior responsiveness to customers is to motivate the whole organization to focus on the customer. Let me offer some suggestions for satisfying customer needs. The first thing that organizations can do is to customize their products and services. Although extensive customization can raise costs, the development of flexible manufacturing technologies and new product design ideas that fit products to each customer have made it possible to customize to a much greater extent than was possible even a short time ago, and without significant impact on the raising of costs. Secondly, firms need to focus on their response time to customer wants. Firms need to develop web-based and IT systems that are capable of responding quickly to unanticipated customer demands or problems. Third, firms need to develop training programs that get employees to think like customers and to place customer satisfaction first in priority in their customer interactions. In conclusion, superior efficiency, quality of products and services, innovation, and superior customer service are the essential building blocks of the competencies behind sustained competitive advantage. In another module, I will discuss how organizations can ensure the delivery of these 4 building blocks by focusing on their human capital. Thank you.